Right now. Before you blink. Before your mind tries to negotiate. Before fear quietly clears its throat and says maybe later. Listen carefully. Because this moment is not ordinary. This moment is the line between the life you keep imagining and the life that will never happen if you don't move. Because the most dangerous prison on earth is not built with steel or stone. It's built with thoughts, overthinking, excuses, and endless preparation. And you've been living inside it for years without even realizing it. Replaying scenarios, planning perfect starts, waiting for confidence, waiting for motivation, waiting for the right time, while life has been passing you like a fast train you keep watching instead of boarding. And here's the brutal truth no one tells you. You don't need clarity to start. You don't need confidence to move. You don't need permission to act. Because clarity comes after action. Confidence is born from failure. And permission is a lie created by fear to keep you small. And every single time you sit and think instead of doing, you are teaching your brain that fear is in control. You are rehearsing weakness. You are strengthening hesitation like a muscle. And the reason your dreams feel heavy is because you keep carrying them instead of building them. Because dreaming without doing is just slow self-betrayal. And deep down you know it. You feel it when you lie in bed at night scrolling. When you promise yourself tomorrow. When you feel that quiet shame of knowing you could have done more today but didn't. And that feeling doesn't go away with more thinking. It only disappears with movement. Messy, imperfect, uncomfortable movement. Because action is the only thing that silences doubt. And understand this clearly. Overthinking is not intelligence. It's fear wearing a clever mask. It pretends to protect you, but all it does is delay your life. And the people you admire, the ones you call disciplined, fearless, unstoppable, they are not special. They just learned one brutal skill you keep avoiding. They act before they feel. Ready, they move while their hands are shaking. They start while their voice is cracking. They take the step even when the path is dark. And that's why they're ahead. Not because they knew more, but because they waited less. And you've been waiting for motivation like it's some magical force. That's supposed to strike you. But motivation follows action. Not the other way around. You don't wake up motivated and then act. You act, and then motivation chases you. And if you keep waiting to feel ready, you will grow old practicing imaginary victories in your head, while others collect real scars and real wins. And listen, your mind will always find a reason not to start. It will say learn more, prepare more, fix yourself first, heal first. Wait until you're confident. But confidence is not a prerequisite. It's a reward. And every time you choose comfort over action, you are choosing a familiar pain over an unknown growth. Because comfort is seductive. It whispers softly. It keeps you safe, but it also keeps you stuck. And stuck is the most expensive place to live. It costs you time, potential, self-respect, and eventually, your belief in yourself. And that's why this message matters, because at some point, thinking becomes a form of cowardice. A sophisticated way of running without moving. And you don't need a perfect plan. You need a first ugly step. Because momentum doesn't care about perfection. It only cares about direction. And once you move even slightly, everything changes. Your brain switches modes. Your body wakes up. Your fear loses authority. And suddenly the thing you were overthinking for months starts to look smaller, manageable, beatable. And this is where most people fail. They underestimate the power of starting small. But starting now, they think success comes from giant leaps. But it comes from consistent steps taken without permission from fear. And here's the hard truth you must accept today. No one is coming to save you. No one will push you when you don't push yourself. No one will hand you the life you want. Because you thought about it long enough. The world rewards execution, not intention. And your potential means nothing if it never leaves your head. Because unused potential is not impressive. It's tragic. And the reason this hurts to hear is because you already know what you need to do. You don't. Lack information. You lack decision. And decision is an act of violence against your old self. It requires you to kill excuses. Kill procrastination. Kill the version of you that feels safe being average. And that death is uncomfortable, but necessary. Because growth demands sacrifice. And the first thing it asks for is your hesitation, and once you understand this, you stop romanticizing thinking and start respecting action. You stop asking what if I fail, and start asking what if I don't try. Because failure teaches, stagnation rots, and every skill you want, every version of you that you admire, every future you visualize, it exists on the other side of repeated action, not repeated thought. And the clock is not slowing down for you. Time is neutral. It will pass whether you act or not. And one day you will look back and realize the scariest part was never starting. And the regret of inaction will weigh more than any failure ever could. So stop waiting for a sign. This is it. Stop thinking your way into confidence. Start doing your way into belief. Because action builds identity. And identity drives behavior. And once you start seeing yourself as someone who moves, someone who acts, someone who doesn't negotiate with comfort, everything shifts. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, you will doubt yourself. Yes, you will mess up. But discomfort is the price of transformation. And doubt is just a signal that you're stepping into something meaningful. And remember this one line. Burn it into your mind. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need the courage to take the next step. Because action creates clarity. Movement creates momentum. And momentum creates the life you keep thinking about. So stop thinking. Start doing. Not tomorrow, not after one more video, not after one more plan, but now. Because the moment you act, even imperfectly, you separate yourself from the majority, and that separation is where greatness begins. And once you take that first step, the universe doesn't suddenly gift you everything. It tests you. It challenges you. It shakes your resolve. Because action always meets resistance. And resistance is not a sign to stop. It's a sign that you're on the right path. It's proof that fear is alive. And noticing your move, and the stronger the resistance, the more your courage is being forged. Because comfort never builds warriors. Struggle does. Doubt does. Obstacles do. And the people who succeed aren't the ones who had easy journeys. They're the ones who walked through fire with their hands blistered, knees scraped, hearts pounding, facing storms they didn't ask for, and yet they kept moving. And that's the secret no one tells you. Movement itself is the teacher. The moment you act, life begins to respond. And every little action compounds into unstoppable force. The small victories accumulate like invisible bricks, building a fortress around your confidence. And suddenly, what seemed impossible yesterday becomes inevitable tomorrow. And here's another truth. Action breeds clarity, but thinking breeds paralysis. Overthinking will tie your mind in knots while the world outside spins faster than you can imagine. Opportunities appear, doors open, people move, deals happen, events change. And if you are still inside your head, waiting for the perfect moment that will never come, you will be left staring at others, living the life you imagined. And envy will sting, guilt will burn, and regret will whisper constantly that you could have done more, started sooner, acted faster. And that is the cruelest thief of all. Time lost in hesitation, stolen by indecision, silently erasing your potential while you planned, analyzed, doubted, and feared. And you cannot afford that anymore, because the longer you wait, the louder the price grows. And action is your only currency to pay it. Every step forward is a deposit into your future self. Every choice to move, rather than wait, strengthens the person you are becoming. And yes, the first steps will feel heavy, awkward, uncomfortable, maybe even terrifying. Because your brain will scream in protest. Fear will rage like a storm. Your body will resist change. And the voices around you might laugh, doubt, or warn. But none of that matters. Because growth never asks for permission. Progress never. Negotiates with comfort. And the life worth living is always on the other side of discomfort. So stop giving power to fear. Stop rehearsing excuses. Stop negotiating with hesitation. And start, right now, with whatever you can. However small, however imperfect. Because imperfect action is infinitely better than perfect inaction. And once you make that move, momentum will find you. Doors will start opening. Clarity will arrive. Confidence will grow. And suddenly, you will see that the life you were afraid to step into was always waiting for you. Not because the world changed. Not because circumstances aligned. But because you finally chose to act. To stop thinking. To start doing. And that choice, that single relentless act, will echo in every moment after. Because action is not just what you do. It is who you become. And who you become is unstoppable, unshakable, untouchable. Because you have chosen the only path that matters. Forward. Always forward. Without hesitation. Without delay. Without permission. With courage in your heart and fire in your veins. Moving relentlessly. Because the world does not reward dreamers. It rewards doers. And now, it's your turn. And now, here's where most people fail. Where dreams die quietly in the shadow of later. Because action demands courage they've never called upon. It demands a rawness they've spent years avoiding. And it exposes every weakness, every fear, every insecurity they've been hiding from themselves. But here's the secret. Those weaknesses are not enemies. They are signposts. Proof that growth is possible. Proof that the path is real. Proof that your courage matters. Because without the test, without the fight, without stepping into uncertainty, you will never know the depth of your strength. And strength is not measured by how safe you are. It is measured by how many times you rise after fear tried to crush you. How many times you act when doubt screams. How many times you take the next step when the horizon is unclear. And this is the brutal truth. Life does not wait for perfection. It does not pause for preparation. It does not slow down because you are unsure. It moves relentlessly, swiftly, without care for your hesitation. And if you refuse to move, if you cling to thinking instead of doing, you are not safe. You are stagnating, rotting, shrinking while the world expands around you. And every second you waste is opportunity slipping away. Like water that can never be caught again. And your mind will trick you. It will whisper cleverly, softly. Wait, not now. Soon. Prepare. Plan. Analyze more. But those are lies. Fear dressed as wisdom. Convincing you that motion is dangerous. That failure is a threat. That effort without certainty is foolish. But the only real foolishness is choosing inaction, while knowing that action is the only bridge between your present and your potential. And every person you admire, every legend, every overnight success, they started imperfectly. They acted before they felt ready. They stumbled. They fell. They doubted. They failed repeatedly. And that messy, uncomfortable, raw movement, that relentless refusal to pause, built them into the unstoppable force you now look up to. And you can do the same. You can take that fire, that energy, that anger at hesitation, that hunger at the weight of your unrealized potential, and turn it into movement. And once you move, you start a chain reaction that thinking can never trigger. Your brain shifts. Your energy shifts. The universe begins to respond. The doors you feared were locked suddenly crack open. Paths you didn't see before appear. And confidence, clarity, momentum. They don't arrive magically. They arrive because you forced them to arrive by refusing to wait, by refusing to negotiate with fear, by refusing to worship comfort, by choosing the hard path, the path of action, the path where failure is a teacher and doubt is a companion, not a jailer. And understand this clearly, small steps matter, even ugly, imperfect, trembling steps, because they compound, they build, they create a rhythm, a habit, a pattern of execution. And momentum is a powerful force that will eventually carry you further than thought ever could. So stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what if I don't try? Because the only guarantee in life is inaction. And inaction is the slow killer of dreams, the silent thief of potential, the quiet betrayal of your own destiny. And you are bigger than hesitation, stronger than doubt, capable of more than your fears can imagine. So take that first step, and the next, and the next, relentlessly, imperfectly, courageously. Because every second you hesitate is a second the life you imagine slips further from your grasp. And action, no matter how messy, is the only weapon you need to fight back and claim the life you deserve.